High News.
Let's bring in the Doug Gottlieb, Fox Sports Radio after our show. I'm all gassed up on this story. You do not believe LeBron James ever leaves L.A.?
No. He actually likes it here.
No, I thought
you kind of like it here too. He
do.
has a child about to enter into high school, and he's taking his son out of Brentwood, and now he's going to move him to Sierra Canyon, which is now the basketball factory of the Valley.
Yeah.
And Dwayne Wade's going to put his kid there.
Right.
Once your kid's in high school, you're not moving. It's just not happening. And Jeannie Buss would be a moron financially to trade him. Every piece of Laker paraphernalia, every ad dollar is based around 23 playing for the Lakers. He's a cash cow, just like the Lakers are a cash cow.
Yeah.
It's not happening. And this idea that they can't find anybody to trade for or anybody to take their money, by the way, which would be as much of an indictment on LeBron James as it would the culture and what's taken place within the Lakers organization. I find it really hard to believe that would happen. But even if they didn't get any big names.
I don't think they will.
Well, look, they weren't that far off last year. They just weren't. And I tend to believe they will somehow via trade or via signing. If you just get a legit starting center, right, and you get shooters off of the bench who can play with LeBron James, you're going to be a playoff team, a very competitive playoff team. So there's a lot of dust that needs to settle.
Now, I will say this. Boogie Cousins, I think they could overpay and get him.
Yeah, why do you want Boogie Cousins?
Well, I'm saying I don't think the Lakers, I don't see all the players. If Jimmy Butler signs a max, that was one of the better opportunities. I think the Kyrie story is a leak by the Lakers to seem relevant because they're not in an increasingly competitive market. I don't see them adding. Klay's not coming. Kawhi's not coming. KD's not coming. I think you get to a point where Boogie Cousins looks pretty darn attractive if he plays well in this finals. He's skilled.
He played one game.
I know, but
he hasn't stayed healthy the last 2 years. And by the way, LeBron wants a guy who's either a rim protector or a stretch five. He's neither. He can shoot, but he's not a stretch five. Doesn't really fit there. They're going to try and trade for Anthony Davis. That's where the fourth pick could end up. Brad Beal. You're going to have a new GM eventually with the Washington Wizards. And people are going to try and pick off those pieces. Obviously, the Wizards are going to try and get rid of John Wall's contract, but nobody knows if he'll ever play again or what it'll look like when he comes back from injury. You want Brad Beal.
I do.
There's still, Kemba Walker's out there. There's what happens with the Rockets? The Rockets apparently are a fire sale. And who's close friends with LeBron James? It's Chris Paul, who once upon a time for 5 minutes was in fact a Laker. Again, I don't love that move, but the idea that no one's coming to the Lakers feels kind of laughable. And even if they stood pat and they simply added a couple of smart pieces, I actually think Lonzo Ball is going to be outstanding next year. This is his first offseason where he can actually work on a basketball floor, and he was getting close last year. Kyle Kuzma is going to be better. I mean, obviously the big question is Brandon Ingram's health, but it's not a terrible roster. They had a terrible culture, and they had terrible injuries, and they fell out of the playoffs, and it went south in a hurry. But they're not trading LeBron James a year into a 4-year contract when he's a cash cow. His son's entering high school. He likes it here. All his boys have moved out here. His whole corporation is out here, not in Cleveland. It ain't happening.
By the way,
sorry, it was a total buzzkill.
No. I just get excited about stuff.
I know you do.
I get very excited. I got World Cup on Friday. I just watched the craziest fight of my life, and now I got this. Let me go into the Kawhi thing. He bought property in Toronto. I don't buy it, but whatevs. I've heard
Toronto real estate on fire, by the way.
I'm not doubting that. Real estate everywhere in America right now is pretty hot, right?
That's not actually America. I hate to.
Well, I'm saying in North America.
Yes.
Why it's 15% charge to buy in Canada?
Well, but it's also Toronto specifically. There's such massive immigration and a population rush there that there's going to eventually, they believe, be a housing crisis. This may be an investment vehicle.
Okay.
I don't know. It's interesting.
But it is here. I'll say this about Kawhi is that as much as I respect all the NBA writers in this country, I don't think anybody has a clue. I honestly don't think in my lifetime I've ever seen a player. The NBA has quirky guys. It had Dennis Rodman. NFL quirky guys, Ricky Williams, feel like outcasts. The NBA kind of puts their arms around the earth is flat Kyrie, Dennis Rodman, Kawhi. We've always had a guy that's kind of an enigma, a little bit of a mystery. I think his body's a mystery. Do you have any inclination?
No.
I mean, I have none.
I got nothing. I got nothing for you. I really do. Right. And like he has no kind of facial expression. That's just how he is. He comes to work every day and then he goes home and he doesn't give anybody anything. And people are trying to react to his uncle. Well, his uncle's around now. So maybe now his uncle wants him to yeah, but at the end of the day, Kawhi's a grown man. He's going to make grown man decisions. So, I mean, we're all operating under the presumption that he wanted to play in L.A. He wanted to play with the Clippers. They kind of fit his personality. They need a ready-made star at his position. Like, it all kind of makes sense, but we're all just kind of guessing.
Let me ask you this. Chris Broussard said this yesterday. He's only played over 66 games twice. 74 is the most. He missed an entire season. He took 22 games off load management. He has a weird body that he knows I'm not built to do 95 games like LeBron. I'm not built for this. Does that, if that was what I knew about my body, you know your body as a former athlete.
Yeah.
Kawhi does. Why wouldn't you just take guaranteed money? I'm not
Well, you're going to get guaranteed money. You're going to get less guaranteed money. And again, but this is all in your wiring. Like, I think the difference is like $40 million, but an additional year, right? So remember that just because you say, well, there's a $40 million difference, and remember he took a hit to get a trade out of
$30 million
San Antonio because he could have gotten the Supermax there, right? So he's already taken a hit. Now you're talking about $70 million. Remember, if he signs a 4-year contract wherever he goes, he could then sign another 1-year deal, and he could make up, who knows, 30 or 40 million. It could end up being a wash. It's a little bit overblown.
Okay.
But can you really spend $130 million?
I can't. And
you could try. Remember that boat you had when you first came up to Connecticut?
Sold it an hour later.
You did.
Yes.
Yeah. If we all invested in real estate in northern Connecticut, we could burn through money really quickly because it doesn't make you any money.
Right.
Outside of that, like, I do think we're guessing on a guy, and we're assuming that he thinks like we do. We're like, man, that's a lot of money. And Toronto loves you. You're like an iconic star in an entire country. On the other hand, LA's home, and it's all money he's not going to spend anyway, right? I'm sure there's a kicker with his New Balance deal where he gets more money and he'll get more endorsements, even if he says nothing. We're all just guessing, but it's the money is not as great a difference as you're led to believe, and money may not be the ultimate motivator for him. He's already left $30 million on the table in San Antonio.
We'll talk about the final and the Warriors and this dynasty and how it's falling apart with Doug Gottlieb. Stick around, LeVar Ball next hour. With the Discover It Miles card, you can go further than you've ever gone before, like sun in your face, book in the hand, kids playing in the sand, further. The Discover It Miles card offers unlimited 1.5 miles on every purchase, automatically matching all the miles you earned at the end of your first year. 35,000 miles becomes 70,000. That easy. Get out there with your Discover It Miles card today. Limitations apply. Discover match for new card members. Learn more at discover.com/travel.